All right, so we are recording, not live, but recording, and we are here tonight with a practice with Malice, right? Right, woohoo! And it's taken a while to kind of coordinate this. We've worked on it, but we're making it happen. So I asked some people before the interview tonight if they had heard of you guys. We'd like to see, how big the fan base is. And to my surprise, some of the people that I messaged have not, and that's not okay with me. We need to get.
Talking to?
I kind of threw the message out there, so obviously.
Were you talking to people in Africa?
It must
or
have
like
been.
the tribes with the click click. Yeah.
Right, because I've seen. Because I've seen your fan base, and it's large. So the fact that they haven't heard of you, they must be living under a rock.
Yeah.
So take a moment to explain to those who are in the dark as to your music.
You must be talking to country western people.
Maybe, like way up north and,
Because, anybody
right?
that's into heavy metal should know who we are.
I mean, I did.
I know Digital Homicide.
Well,
we know Digital Homicide.
See, and they're friends too.
I know I'm going on stage with James.
Jason told him he'd pull him up on stage.
Yeah.
So,
He's making me. He's making
we'll see. So they're good friends with them. So you know what the project is about, though, right? What the interview is about. We've kind of had a chance to
not
talk.
entirely. I know it's about ending hunger for
Well,
somebody.
here we go. And I
like to end my own hunger. But
I like this because you are very outspoken, and I love that. So to be more specific and fill everybody else in, this interview is for the End Hunger Challenge project. And I'll send you guys the link later. And it was created by me about 2 years ago. And what I do is I interview people in the entertainment industry, whether it's Malice, Digital Homicide, Skillet, whoever. And every interview that we do raises money for ending child hunger in the U.S. So here for our own kids. We don't ask you to donate. We have silent donors that take care of that, or other people, the supporters that donate. I just ask you for 15 minutes of your time. But by doing that tonight, you're helping to raise 1,500 meals tonight towards our goals. So we appreciate you giving us that time. And now that you know a little bit more what you're... Right? Well, you're going to have the chance to call out some people at the end and kind of challenge them. So that's going to be interesting. But now that you know a little bit more about what it is, what do you think about being a part of a project that has such a big impact?
Well, you guys pretty awesome.
I think it's an amazing opportunity because I think I kind of feel like we don't spend enough time helping the people that are in need in the United States here, and so I think that's very important to be a part of it.
I do too, and I love the fact that I'd love to someday be able to help everybody. I mean, hunger shouldn't exist anywhere for kids, but realistically, we need to start here on our home front first. And the current statistics right now that haven't changed in a while is 1 in 5 kids. So 1 in 5 of you, if you were kids, are the ones that are facing severe food hunger. Not, I missed lunch because I didn't like what we were having, but complete starving hunger here in the U.S. When you hear those numbers, what does that bring to mind for you?
That's kind of shocking that 1 in 5 of us would be.
That it's 1 in 5.
That's something that you hear about, like in a third world country. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. But it's not, and that's what we're trying by you doing these interviews, helping to raise that awareness that it's not in the third world countries. That's what we have in our home front right now is 1 in 5 kids. And school years. I don't know how many of you have kids. None. I'm the only one that has a kid. Oh man, I feel so old. All right, I feel so old right now. All right, well, during the school year, most kids, a lot, have the free or reduced lunches and breakfast, so they get at least 1, if not 2 meals in school. When school's out in the summertime, that's a huge problem for us because a lot of kids look forward to going back in September just for that reason, knowing that they'll actually get fed.
I hated school and I hated school lunch.
I actually used to be on the free school lunch program at my school.
So you kind of understand, you were on, did you have lunch or did you get breakfast too? Did you do both?
Both, yeah.
Both?
Yep.
And I suppose, and that was probably very beneficial and helpful for your family to take advantage of that.
Yes. It was my mom raised me, my brother, and my sister essentially by herself. So yeah, trying to work to feed 3 mouths is kind of tough.
Yeah, and I don't know, obviously, if your situation was as extreme, but I'm supposing you can relate to the ones then who are a little more worse off and who looked forward to going back to school at 3 o'clock when the bell rang just to be able to go back to be able to eat the next day.
Yeah, that's something I've never experienced, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like. Just not knowing where food is coming from. It would just be ridiculous. It's crazy that it actually happens more than we think here in the U.S.
And you know what, politics aside, because, well, you know, that's just a subject nobody likes to touch on, regardless of, I know you do, I know, and that's what I love,
shut up.
I love that about you. But putting that aside for just a second, which we'll go back to, you know, whether the adult situation may be loss of job or welfare, whatever it may be, for us, you know, a kid shouldn't have to worry about where their next meal comes from. And I think that's the biggest thing for us, is helping to end the child hunger. You know, hunger shouldn't exist at all, but the kids shouldn't have to worry about where they're going to find their next meal and how they're going to eat. So you guys are helping to raise awareness for the fact that they shouldn't have to worry about, you know, where they're going to...
So Sheridan's doing good for once in his life.
Right? There you go.
I thought I'm a nice guy. Despite what he says.
You might be a nice guy, but you never do nothing good.
Nah. Touching on the politics, because I love how you are so outspoken, though. I mean, obviously,
We kind of all are here.
I think everybody is. And I mean, I know there's a lot of different factors that, you know, there's people who would say, oh, you're on welfare, so, you know, you need to get a job and do more and you just need to work. And there's a lot of different things that happen. But the bottom line, when you think of the 1 in 5 kids, and we're talking about here in the home front, you know, what do you think we could do to make a better change? I mean, I think we're kind of wasteful as a country. You know, we're so wasteful for food.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you- I mean,
know
what-
we're wasteful about food. I mean, I see people throwing food away all the time, and it just irritates me. Yeah,
I don't know what waste.
yeah. I'm
I've
sure.
worked as a server. I know what you're talking about. I
I'm
know.
Just, you know, for me, it's with meat. I won't ever throw away meat. I eat meat even if it tastes bad. just because, you know, I respect the
Iron
animal.
stomach?
No, I respect the animal, and I don't want to say that an animal killed its life or lost its life, and then I throw it in the garbage. type
To
of
be
thing.
wasteful. They just want your leg. You know, sorry
You
that
know,
we,
but
you know.
as far as a carrot, I don't really care if a carrot loses its life.
Come on. Yeah.
But I don't eat carrots, so, you know,
So you're not a rabbit. You know, you're just not eating the carrots.
my food can eat that food.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
There you go. Well, you know, that makes your food grow, so it works. You know, so when we're talking about, you know, here in the U.S., and you were going to have a chance to nominate some other bands to do the same thing as you're doing and kind of keep the project going, if you could send out a message to the... I haven't asked this question in a while, but I think you'd be good for this. There are some people who tend to say, it's not my problem. I don't care. You know, it doesn't affect me. And maybe it hasn't. Maybe they've never had to deal with having the free or reduced lunch, which I had to, you know, or having a parent work 3 jobs to figure out how they're going to make ends meet. But for those who are still that close-minded that they just think it's not their problem and it doesn't affect them, what message would you send to those people that we're trying to reach?
Don't eat for a day. How does that feel? I'm hungry right now.
I had a burrito before we started practicing, and I could go in for another.
I don't know. I feel like if you try to put yourself in that person's shoes, empathy is the big thing to try to feel. Because if you don't, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be hungry, but if you think about that, that's a scary thought to not know where your next meal is. Think about that for a second. I'm just trying to tell that to somebody. I don't know. But this, if you take away your next meal, if you were to think, if you were not going to eat your next meal and that was just gone, how would you feel?
There's a study that was done. Somebody said, take students in school. Don't get, with parents' consent, of course, you know, if they had agreed to this, you know, experiment, not feed them for an entire day. Not give them the breakfast, not give them the lunch. When they go home, don't let them have it. Have them come back to school the next day and see how well they perform in school. I mean,
Hey, I'm standing
Careful.
right here.
That could be taken out of context.
That might be just going to be a clip on YouTube.
right? Somebody's just going to be like,
Just that 3
You should
seconds.
definitely put that as a clip. So we can
right? That is
promote it.
not what he meant.
That is exactly what I meant. Hook up electrodes to him, you know, you shock him,
He's
whatever.
like,
As long as you feed them.
Yeah, it's just
No, I'm not feeding him for a day. That's
he's just over there like, I'm done. I've given up.
run all sorts of experiments on it. That's all right.
Oh.
Didn't
Well,
say
I-
torture them.
What was the question?
And I think empathy is a word that several people have used lately. Not sympathy, but empathy. And imagine if we were in town or just anywhere and you saw a child digging into a garbage can just for the fact that they're trying to, to figure out how they're going to find food. I kind of think of the dignity issue, how they must feel, you know, seeing people watching them worry about how they're going to...
I almost feel like when you're at that point, you don't even care.
Probably not, because you're just fight or flight mode is what I think at that point.
And that's probably, and that,
It's
think
almost
about it,
the
to me,
smartest.
that's almost the saddest part of the whole thing. Is like when you get to that point where
That you don't
have to
care.
you have to sink to that level, then
Kind of lost your humanity
yeah,
a little
you're
bit.
kind of lost. You know, I can't imagine being in that position. I mean, thinking about it just now just makes me sad. To be honest with you, I mean, I've known a lot of people. You know, fortunately, they're not children, but go through the same issues. You know,
And that's still just
trying
as
to feed
rough.
themselves. And you know, and they're adults. You know, and to think of it as a child where you don't have the means and the abilities to provide for yourself.
Yeah, you can't get a job in real work.
no.
Yeah. I mean, think, where do you start? And I think that's a big part of the problem is no, you know, maybe it's not even that people don't care. Maybe it's people don't think that their little contribution is going to make any difference. So
Or they don't
why
know where to
bother?
start.
Exactly. Or where do you start? You know, I mean, nobody knows. You know, you don't know, and maybe it is that they don't care. But
Oftentimes it is just ignorance or people are oblivious to it too, though.
I think it's that, because I've done, I mean, my first year alone last year, I did 35 interviews, which doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, way more than double that this year. And I was surprised at how many artists, and one was a country band, but he'd been around for years. It was like the Oak Ridge Boys, or, you know, ones that been around. And even he, you know, I grew up as a farmer, was very surprised and shocked to hear the current statistics that, you know, maybe it's just unaware, oblivious, like you're saying.
I think that's
one in five seems like a lot.
Yeah, I think that is a big part of it. Because I feel like most people would be willing to give at least something, especially to help kids.
Yeah.
People have a soft spot for kids because they're kids.
Right?
I do think that ignorance is a big part of it, probably.
yeah, I think it's out of sight, out of mind.
Until it happens to you, and then all of a sudden the tables are turned and you're in that position, you know, and it's an eye-opener. But, you know, you guys are helping to raise 1,500 meals tonight, so that's going to be that many mouths that are fed, thanks
A
to...
lot of carrots.
And potatoes.
Carrots,
What's
and
it?
tomatoes.
So no lettuce either? Are we just, like, you know, boycotting all
For
vegetables?
me,
Yeah.
I'm just a meat eater.
Meat, potatoes too, or just
I'll
meat?
have potatoes. I ain't eating no potato.
So you do like...
French fries.
Well, that's not really a potato.
That's a potato,
That's a whole different food.
Oh, I
that's
got
a fried food.
right? As in like, well.
That's a fried food. That's completely different. That's a different food group.
So if we
altogether.
fried carrots for him, then that would...
Maybe if you give that a shot.
That could be different.
Suddenly we have an idea.
I mean, they've made deep fried pickles, and if your categories in
I'm
fries...
sure you could deep fry a carrot. That wouldn't be.
The question is whether we get him to actually eat it or not.
Probably.
I do.
I do eat carrot cake. I just think it was better with all the carrots in it.
Which has cake. Cake, yeah, just the cake part.
Use cake. You like
Carrot cake.
Yeah, let's just talk about food now.
Yeah,
Right?
now I'm really hungry.
It just makes all of us hungry.
Can we get 1,500 burritos in here?
That's a lot of burritos.
That is a ton of burritos.
That's like a week's supply.
1,500?
Yeah, baby.
Prime
Dude, this guy eats
Did
3
you just
full
say prime rib?
Yeah, he's over here saying 12-ounce prime rib.
That is awesome. Prime rib is the best.
He packed the whole thing away. He
Oh,
ate
geez.
over 12 ounce and was gone like...
Yeah, you are.
I hear you on that.
Well, it was good.
What's your favorite meat?
Steak.
All right.
Steak is good.
Right?
I just went to a burger place and I ate a burger this big and the onion rings were like the size of my palm.
It's not
They
making me
were.
hungry, guys.
I know, right? All right. So did you like their music?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to
Some
watch...
ribs.
You going to watch them live at the show?
Yeah.
Are
All
you guys gonna
right.
be at Rockfest first?
We are going to be at Rockfest, but remember it's the day
Yeah,
before
you're
you.
on Friday, because you're
God.
going with Strange Days.
Strange Days.
Yeah,
We're last.
we're
You're last on the last
We're
night.
last.
Yeah, last of the last of the...
opening for us.
We are
Yeah,
last.
Slipknot is opening for us.
That is awesome. So what is on the books besides, you know, after Rockfest then? What do you guys have planned?
Sword Metal Fest in October, and then, you know, we're planning some other stuff.
We'll be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a broken drumstick.
So, at the end of every interview, not that this isn't fun because you guys are probably one of the most fun interviews I've done in a while, but you are, right? It's a good group of guys. I ask every band, every artist I interview, think of like the Ice Bucket Challenge, but minus the water and the freezing cold. So you get to nominate 3 bands or artists or entertainers or
Like
whoever you want. Local or national. Keep in mind I do both. I mean, like I said, we're covering Halfway Jam.
Do they have to come to Minnesota for you to
They don't
interview
have to. I do a lot that come through here, and I'll wait even 2 months, 3 months out if they're going to be, traveling through. But if they aren't and logistics doesn't work, then we do kind of like a Skype style video interview.
Okay.
So you get to nominate 3 bands, artists, musicians, actors, whoever that you're going to say need to do this interview just like you, keep the project going, and help us raise more meals.
Okay, you guys know more bands than I do.
Rick Larson, Dead Darwin.
Has not been
Minneapolis
nominated.
local band.
There you go. They have not. We've already interviewed
didn't do
them.
that.
Yes, we did last year.
Rick Larson, he's a good buddy of mine. He's got children. He's down for this, and him and Jake and all those guys are all good guys. I think they should do this.
So when I send you the link to the interview, then you can kind of help tag him and get the word out, so we can.
I'll send some info that way.
All
Do you know
right.
anybody that you want to nominate?
That's
No,
my
no.
challenge.
Okay.
I'll
Any-
leave that to you guys.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and.
He's gonna go way out there.
Way out
He's
there?
going way out there.
A little bit.
James Hetfield.
No, I'm gonna. I'll go with.
Hey, if James
John
Hetfield does that, it better be a whole lot more than 1,500
I held
meals.
this guitar.
did,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go with Deaf Dealer.
Okay.
Ooh.
And you can contact Benjamin to
Ooh, that's a good
talk
one.
to them, and then probably either for a local band, either Eternal Voyager or go with Donna Valor, one of them 2 bands.
I haven't even seen either of one of those come up. I mean, we've had like Cold Kingdom nominated 4 times, and Vaudeville and Anti-Star, and all those keep popping up, and those ones have not been.
Metal.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Different circles, it is, so
kinda
that's-
we're a different type of genre.
And I like that because they keep giving me one genre, and the project isn't just focused on rock music or one. We need to kind of branch out. So
Yeah,
you guys
right
will.
now you're deep into metal right now.
That's all right. We need to be deep into metal.
Kind of sounds like with Cold Kingdom and all that, you're more into like the hard rock stuff and that. Yeah.
That's just what they keep nominating, and that's
Yeah.
great. But I'm like, I'll even do country if I have to, whatever. Metal, just we need to kind of branch out.
Yeah,
to-
I've seen some of the local bands that you interviewed, and it's mostly the hard rock.
I know.
ones.
Like, can you give me something else? So Malice, we made
Like
it
I said,
happen.
Eternal Voyager and Donna Valor for your 2 local ones, and then
Okay.
I'd go with Death Dealer for another one. And what?
We'll throw in that 4th one. And what was
you
yours
said,
again?
so-
Dead Darwin.
All right, so we have 4. So that's going to be, let's see, 4, 5, about 6,000 meals
Do it up.
if they all agree,
Nice.
right?
Yeah,
So we're.
Death Dealers from all over the country and even Australia. So
Ooh.
get them guys.
That'll be a good one.
It'd, boost your thing a little bit more.
Make no guarantees though.
Yeah.
No guarantees. You
Yeah,
cannot.
fair enough.
Right, can't hold you responsible.
Hold me responsible.
Any last words for those that are going to be watching the video, for your fans, new fans that are now turning on to liking your music?
Make sure to come out to a show, buy our merchandise, and support this cause too.
Oh, I definitely will.
That's what I always tell people. So if you can hear me, support local music. Every band started out somewhere, right? All right.
All local music. Don't be a jerk.
And stay for the shows, right? I'm
Yeah.
hearing that's a huge thing
It
lately.
is a huge thing for the,
That they're like listening to say like yours, and then they'll
Yeah.
ditch on everybody else.
I completely agree, but I can't really say anything because I work so much that I pretty much just show up and I have to leave again.
Well,
you show up late.
that's understandable. But
Rest
I've
of
been
us are
hearing
there,
in
so.
circulation that there's a lot that just show up for the one they like, and then
Well, yeah, it's also the bands are doing that too, where they show up for their set and then they split. And
I have seen
we
that.
just played a show where literally after we played, Sheridan and I were the only 2
Yeah,
people
for the last
in the
one.
audience for the final band, and it was just.
They were from Canada.
It
They
was-
came all the way
It
from
was-
Canada.
They
I thought
were
they
good.
were
I
good.
felt really bad, and we're kind of like we were tired, and it was far from, and we wanted to go, and we're just like,
drive back.
we can't leave now.
Yeah,
We have to
right?
Notice if we leave.
do you think they'll notice? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible.
They were good too.
They were really good, and
it
it
was
was
sad.
had fun, but
Yeah, they put on a show for sure.
I've seen that happen several concerts ago. I went to a show and there was 3 bands, and the one went on, and they were pretty new, so they didn't really have a big crowd that they drew in, and people were just kind of walking away and leaving, but forgetting there's 2 other bands to play. And the second one went up, and there wasn't much of an audience because they just kind of left, and it's like you have to remember there's other bands that are still performing.
Well, that typically happens when one of the opening bands that plays packs up their stuff and leave. All of their fans that came with them pack up their stuff and leave, and then the second opening band packs up their stuff and leaves. Their fans go, and then you're left to like the last band and the last two bands.
Like 4 people standing out
yeah,
there. Just
and that
like,
hurts the venues, and that's why venues that support this type of music have been closing down constantly, is because people keep doing that. It's a very bad pattern.
ugh.
And they don't buy anything at the venue either.
Yeah.
As far as like food or
Not-
drinks,
yeah,
or
food or drinks. Yeah, I mean that's.
so then the venue's not bringing in money because they're not selling any alcohol or drinks or food or anything.
Why not?
Oh, that's terrible.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much. We've actually learned a lot. It's been very fun and informative, and we've actually learned quite a bit. So we really appreciate that. And I'm going to work on a little surprise because I got an email tonight, and if all goes well, we are going to match your interview to raise a total of 3,000 meals tonight.
Nice.
So
Amazing.
that may be in the works. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for the